Okay, this is the one that I did the bar to hold the hood together. Right down there. And it's still holding together. Can you believe it? But he's got deck trouble. So I am going to roll around on the ground for a little bit until I figure out what's wrong with this deck. No matter what the setting is, it rides on this wheel. I got a hunch it's just a broken bracket or a bracket that's pulled off. We will see. Alright, my friends, we're going to get this belt off of here before we can get the deck off. We've got some bent pieces under there. I hope we can do this while you're watching. I've got a long ratchet on the idler pulley. So we should be able to loosen that baby off. Now hopefully you can see that everything's loosened off in there. I don't know if you can or not. And that's all there is to that. Now that we're back here, we're going to have to take the belt off once we get the cover off on the other side. No problemo, but the belt is now independent of the tractor. Okay. So now the next two cotter pins, I believe, are... Man, I'm so sorry, but this is one of the hardest things for me to do, guys. It's just that pin there. You can get in there. There we go. That pin right there, and then the two front locking pins, and that deck should pull right out of there. And there's also an interesting reason why the blade fell off. Okay, so forgive me, but I'm going to just take 4 cotter pins out. I'll show you that in real life right now. Okay, do you see right there? There's a cotter pin. We're just going to remove that if we can. There we go. 1. Keep all parts. 1. And just 3 more, just like it. 2. Okay, and we'll just keep going like that, guys. And there's just 2 more back there, and I'll show you when I pull it out. Okay, it's out. So it was just a matter of the 4 cotter pins, but you got to have long arms to get in there. And it looks like the end of this spindle is worn right off. So we'll check into that. Might need a new spindle there. That one's good. A little noisy. So I'm just going to dig the dirt off this thing, and then we'll turn it over and see how bad this thing is bent or repairable. Whoops, I'm sorry. Shaky, shaky, shaky. So the magic of the internet. There, the magic of the internet. So I want to get this cover off of here, and then we can have a look at that crummy spindle at the same time. We have to rebend this bracket. So it is this bracket that's bent. It's causing it to not grab onto the same... Oh, anyway, I'll show you that later. Blah, blah, blah. Yeah, it's fun. I had fun. It was physically challenging, but I got it out with 4 of these little guys. Not bad. And now I'm going to see if I can get that cover off of there. And we got more dirt. So this should just lift off now. Huh. A little bit of crud, but not bad. Okay. So right there, you'll see it's been hit hard, pretty hard, right there. Looks like you hit a 4x4, eh? Because over here, it's clean. It's a clean line, and then right there, hit a 4x4. So if we pull that out, that might help to realign that, and also help to realign this. Hello, my friends. Well, now I'm trying to get this bracket off of here, the one that's bent. Oh. And I'm going to use my breaker bar. It's on there, man. A breaker bar on a thinly welded table. No, no. We're going to get that off of there, and then and that's 15mm bolt, by the way. So this older American stuff is half and half, just like an old Dodge. Dirty dog, I'm going to have to take them both off. Ooh. But it's on there tight enough for a breaker bar. Isn't that something, right? With the right tool, little effort required. Boy, a double shoulder bolt. Come on. I just want to put it back on there so I don't lose it. Okay, let's have a look and see how badly this is bent. Ooh, pulled my knee. No, I don't have a bum on my knee. That would be a bum knee. Okay, so we have obviously, I don't know how much you guys can see the deformation. Right there, that should be 90 degrees. But I'm not going to put the heave 2 on that yet. That's just one of our problems. Now that we have that off there, I think I'm going to take the other one off too, so we can use it as a guide for bending the other one back together. The angle of the dangle. And I think that this combined with the, walk this way, this combined with the bent deck frame will be our, oh, such a beautiful sound. And one is bigger. This is where my friend Zippo Barbarga steps in and he says, "Told you about those, John Deere." Although I've read stories about these STX38 black decks, and I haven't heard a lot of good things. Okay, what are we going to call this one? This is the rear, so I'll call this the right side. So now we can have a closer look at these. So even with a tape measure, you guys can see that this one, and I'm assuming that they're going to be similar, this one is 3 inches off the table, and this one is 2 inches off the table. And I measured an inch difference down below, right? Now we're going to go this way, if we can. Yes, we sure can. Look at, there's your inch right there. Do you see it? And also the off squareness. Off squareness. That's like being unsticky. I think that's what Steve from Steve's Saloon said. So we're going to bend these back together, and then I might heat them up, and I might even weld a little cleat or something in these corners so that they don't bend again. Now, so that's that. The other thing is the blades. So I have to turn that stupid deck around. So I did a little reading online. And you guys didn't know I could read. And so, some of these spindles, not all of the John Deere spindles, have the star pattern. So we're going to just pretend we got that. And that still threads in. I'm sorry, that still threads into there. So let's just take this one off and see what we got. And I'm wondering, I can use a little impact. That would be nice. Not coming. But we got the tool. Are you guys getting anywhere? Oh, you didn't get it. Okay, now we're going to take a shot of this thing coming off of here. Just to see what the other side's made out of. Oh, baby! I might have to get the air. This is just exactly when Mrs. Pender's going to come home, too. And the air is going to be stretched across the floor of the garage. Okay. The moment of truth. Around. It's around. Okay, that's fantastic. We'll just leave that off for now until we get things cleaned up. Looks like we've lost the little cup protector here. I'm sure I can find one of those. I don't even think they do anything. It's gonna work. But we need another one of these. That's fantastic. Good news for my pal. So some of them have the splined spindles and some don't. Good news. So no, I think I might just leave it upside down like that and clean up. Grandpa's tired. Oh, hello. Are you guys still around? I unplug my air every night. I don't always drain the air. I don't drain the air very often, once a month or so. But I unplug the air every night, just in case you get a leak on your compressor. And then that sucker starts to run and it will just literally burn themselves up, and hopefully not your garage with it. So just a little word of advice: unplug your air compressors. I know they're not leaking, but all it takes is for one of these cheap little plastic lines to start leaking, and then you got a real show on your hands. All right, we're gonna do some fine tuning on this deck. Can you guys see that warp? Okay, we'll come back to it. Right there. You can see that? And it's right on the other side of our problem. So I think it's part of our problem. I think I might as well put my glasses back on. So if something happens, I'll look good at the funeral. Okay. I'm just going to give it a couple of taps and see. It's coming. There's another one right there, eh? That one came out. Perfect. Now my little table's getting put to the test, eh? And we can bend a few other things back while we go. No, it's not coming. But this has moved substantially. You might not believe it. And you're going, oh, here he goes doing something stupid on a table again. But that's what we do. Oh, see, and then when you miss it hurts. It hurts more than when you hit it. Okay. Let's back up so we don't have any explosions. That's what hurts on the old man's joints. So we're coming along here pretty good. Little zoo ball right there. And then a couple of little Gumbies, one real bad there and one there. Hi there! Well, that's the edge now. Still got a borp there. But I think it was hurt. And a good friend of mine suggested that the blade might have just impacted right there. Let me just grab a light. Come on, baby. Oh, nothing's easy. The magnet on this light is too strong. Okay. So what do you think of this? He thinks the blade may have impacted right there. Just a tiny, tiny bit. And that's why the blade came off. I'll get you right in there. Right there. He thinks the blade hit. And then it unspun from there. I think so too. And then the whole deck became wobbly and was running on, he had to turn this wheel down so that it would reach the ground. It's upside down right now, right? Alright, back on the bent deck. It actually does have a similar bend right here, just to the inside of this bracket, as it does over here on the inside of this bracket. I think it should flow nicely, not crooked. Oops, there, now you can look at it from your computer. Crookedly like that, but not much more. So I took the jack out of my jack press. Hey, Jack! And I'm gonna just see if I can improve on this a little bit. This is the blade, obviously. Now, when this is traveling, that's about as close as it gets right there. Right? And you can and see that bolt has even been worn away a couple of times, eh? Probably by the blade. Now I've bent this out, remember? That's pretty close. Reverse this over here. Where is it? Oh, can you believe that? This one's about a finger wide, maybe just less than a finger wide distance to there. I'll be right back. Right, so we still have a landline. You guys know what those are? So I'm going to try and stick my jack right in to here somewhere so that I can push that out a little, even just like a tiny bit, right? But I'm going to need some bracing. I don't know how strong this kind of stuff is. So when I come back, I'll have some wood in here and a piece of wood up there. And you guys can watch this little shop of horrors. That's getting somewhere. No, I want the best, I think the strongest part of the jack movement is right at the base. So I am gonna just tuck that right in there like that, and we'll give it a couple pumps and see how it goes. So I beat on this with a hammer 2 days ago. You guys were watching me. And it's taken me 2 days to recover. So let me just run into the house and change my glasses. All right. Okay, Bruce, be careful. Is it pumping at all? I wonder if it's low on oil. Can't be. Okay, I've supported, just to get some proper angle on that jack, I've just supported the deck up, oh, I don't know, 7 inches or so. So you can see that. And we'll give you the bird's eye view down the edge of this thing and see if you can see any change. Right here is where we're looking for change. The jack's working now. I just added a little bit of jack fluid to it. That's the first time I've added fluid to this jack since I bought it 43 years ago. And I remember that. And you'd probably say, how do you remember 43 years ago exactly? Well, I bought a mobile home in a poorer part of town down in another city. And my trailer would sink into the firm ground that it was parked on, and I used to have to get underneath there and jack it up. So I went and bought one of these. Back then there were no Harbor Freights or Princess Autos or anything like that. But there were, I think there was Canadian Tire and that type of a thing. So let's just give this a little, let's shut up and we'll get going here. Yes. The wood's starting to crack. We're at the end of the jack, we can't be. But that looks a lot better. Look at how far back it came. So now I'm gonna squish it in. And we're gonna change the angle of the dangle. Nope, we're gonna push this right down, because it seems to be the most efficient part of the jack. We'll turn this up. Oh, that's getting close. Okay, that's as far as she wants to go. Okay, let's try that again. Gotta be careful though. You don't want to go swang. Now, how can we adjust this tall? That should be good. Triple check. I love it. Now we're just going to move the jack back and forth a little bit. Look how far back that comes, eh? I know you guys can see that. Take it a little further past and bring her home. Good. Now, the hard one is going to be this one because I don't think I can, maybe I can do it this way. Right over top of that spindle, eh? Okay, I want to see how good you guys can see. Maybe I can zoom in on her. Yep. So you can see right here, that's the little Zuba that I'm trying to get rid of there. This is actually kind of fun in a dangerous kind of way. Okay, let's do this. Take it past. I should have a face shield on, eh? Okay, that's really... Okay, let's take it back now. Look at how far back that came, eh? I wonder if I can add another chunk of wood. Get her reaching a little further. Yep, I think I can. Right there. We're going to do that over here too. I don't know what he hit. Doesn't matter, right? The jack is losing some of its range. But I almost want to tamp that down with a hammer while I have it stretched out, but oh, that's crazy. Came back almost an inch, didn't it? But I hope, now I'm going to get this out of here and put the blade in. See if there's any... Well, you know, I gained probably 1/4 of an inch. Make sure it can still go all the way around. That's pretty darn good. I wonder, now if I went back down low again, the angle of the dangle's all around. Okay, I'm gonna give it a little pinch right there. Maybe even on that bolt. It's a carriage bolt. And it wasn't pretty. You guys getting that? Yeah, I think you're getting a pretty good look at it. Would you like me to stand in the way? tension down in here, eh? Ah! Okay, that's enough of that. Potential face busting. Now I'm going to do the same thing over here. We've got a mild issue from previous crashes, I'm sure. The issue is right there. Yes, I think you can see that. I'm going to move it over and stick it underneath that bolt. If I can get it underneath that bolt. Can you see that? And then when I let jack off, wow, it even changes the tilt of the wheel, eh? But now we're going to take all this wood out of here and put the blades on the spindles and see how much more clearance we have, if any. I don't think we heard it. And I say we because it's you and I doing this together. I kind of treat the camera as my long lost buddy. It's like when I say me and all my friend. Ooh, that's a little close. Well, that's all right. We can adjust that with a pipe with a crescent wrench. But that is much better. By gosh, I might have to just accept that. I don't want a beaten whale on it too much. It's hard on Grandpa's arms. But I'd like to bend this lip a little bit here, right here. Notice I'm using my right hand, eh? Yeah, I'm sure I gained 1/8 of an inch there. And 1/8 of an inch is nothing to sneeze at. Ah, shoot! And right here, and this ridge is what gives it strength, right? When it's bent over, that's where it's like a origami out of metal. Okay, I don't think we're going to get any better than that. Oh, that is coming very close to that. Right there. That devil. So let's line the camera up so I can nail the camera with the hammer when we come around. Are you with me? Have to remember, our original objective was to drain the swamp. I might just bend this. Yeah, big crescent wrench. This is where you use your crescent wrenches that aren't made in Europe or America. Okay. There we go. Now we're just going to do some pulling with my right arm. That's where it's supposed to end. The metal does want to come back to where it was, kind of, sort of. Now the camera's in the way. Left hand shouldn't do this. Okay. Well, I think that's quite a bit better. Now we're going to just do this lip. Are you getting a look at that nice bending job I'm doing there? I think you are. So they ask, Bruce, why do you have arthritis? Why won't you work on my old John Deere tractor? Because I want to have enough juice in my body to work on my own. Well, that sure looks a lot better. Look at that. Now let's do a blade spin. I'm almost ready to put this unit back together again. Okay, blade goes like that. It's 3/8 of an inch away there. Ooh, it's a little close here, but that's okay. I'm happy. Ooh. Almost went too far. How close are you allowed to be? It's less than 1/8 of an inch over here. I'll think about that for a minute. All right, here it is turned over. And you know what? I think it looks actually more viable. This is where all the work was done, right in here. So now we've got the one bent arm to deal with. I went through each of the pulleys and bearings, and they're all good here. And I've discovered through lots of looking at the internet and YouTube, of course, that filling these with grease, if they're a sealed bearing upper and lower, you don't know, may or may not help, but I'm going to do it anyway. That's my next procedure, and then I'm going to bend one of these arms back. So let's just do a little greasing. You saw that, and I'll be right back. All right, the customer ordered this belt, 123281, and the right one is a 125218. 125218. So that's probably in Canadian bucks. I bet you that, because it's a John Deere belt, that's an $80 belt, and it's for a Sabre 48-inch. FYI. So there's a stall on finishing that. But I still have to get this arm straightened out. Remember they came off the back and out? And this is the one. And looking at it from here, you can sure see that it's been, something evil has happened to it, eh? So I think I'm going to bend it down with a piping here. And we're just going to start there and see how that goes. You're going to laugh at me. After I was playing with the jack, I thought, or I told you I refilled it, and I thought, I'm going to put some more in it. So I extended the jack all the way out. You're not supposed to do that, even in the instructions. I added a little more oil, and I just touched the ram and booshed. So my blue shop coat is covered with oil, and so am I. So I kind of had a bath in petroleum products to get rid of that oil. And now I'm going to just bend on this for a while to relieve my frustration. Right there. I don't know if this pipe is going to fit. But if you're going to have a pipe, this is a good one. I hope that fits on there. Yes, it does. So the first thing I think I want to do, well, we got a couple of different ways to skin this cat. Brute force or brute force. Oh, it's not going to be bad. Now we can use that pipe. Boy, that went a little better than I thought. I wonder if I'm going to have to heat it up to get some temper back in that, or weld a cleat onto it or something. Gosh, it already looks a lot better. If I had a hammer. I don't normally do that to my vise. My wife told me I don't have enough of them. Boy, that's looking pretty good already. Still a little bit of a wonkiness here. Here's the unthreaded end in case I ever need the threads. Now this is aluminum, but I got a lot of leverage on that bad boy. It moved in the vise, but it also did bend. I felt her. Okay, let's go back to the metal workstation, which I prefer. I couldn't use this vise because this whole bench is on wheels, and I would have been towing the vise around. Okay. Gosh, I can't hardly tell which one's been bent. Exit. You guys know who that is, right? Oh. Look at that. So there was an inch difference in these two pieces of. Okay, they're mirror images of each other, right? And I've got them squished together. It's funny how metal likes to go back to the way it was, right? I think we got her. I'm going to put them on that deck. All hands on deck. Now, I marked them left and right. Well, that's definitely the repaired one. You know, there's still a slight kink in that. But gosh, it's pretty good, man. If I remember correctly, these are 15 millimeters. You guys remember? I'm going to bend this one a little bit more. You know me, I got to do everything twice. I could never ever make a living at this. What do you mean you did it twice? Clap it here. And it's got a little bend in it. Not now. Boy, that stuff is amazingly soft, eh? That's better. Okay. I'm just going to put them back on that deck, and we're almost to the point where we're going to stop working on that thing. Come on! 15 millimeter wrenches. Alrighty. I got all my parts. I got the new belt. I got the spindle deflector. We'll have a look at that after. I put the blades on the deck. and nothing. There's no interference anywhere, and everything seems to line up pretty good for an STX. For an STX, these aren't the most line-upable decks that you can have out there. That idler pulley there, that black one, right there, that sits at a tiny bit of an angle, so you can take the height adjustment of the deck. And I readjusted the wheels to be 1/4 inch high at 2.5 inches of grass. So we'll see how that turns out. And I've measured it up and it's pretty square. So now we're going to find out. I might have to jack the tractor up because those arms are sticking up there a little bit. But I'm just, without you watching, I'm just going to slide this underneath here and see how it lines up. And don't forget, these go in. These are the pins that go in those uprights, and these are the front arms that support the front for height adjustment. So I'm not going to film me because I have a sore back. I just got my neighbor over to help me get the deck from there to there. But when you have a sore back, you can lay around and feel sorry for yourself, or you can just get out there and not hurt it, but move slow. Okay, we might as well film this gong show. Don't say anything if I come out of frame or whatever, right? Geez, that just might fit. Well, there we go. That's kind of where it's supposed to go, right? The back end has got to come this way. Good. Good. Excellent. Okay. Now we need a few pieces of wood to just lift up the deck to the 2-inch level. Well, I'm pretty happy with that. And I'll show you one thing before we get going. Might be able to do it from the other side just a little bit easier. It's going to go sideways on you. So right there, do you see that? This bracket right here? It's riding up against that roller right there. And that's perfect. They're both in the same position. Okay. So now I'm going to be fiddling for about a half an hour, so I will turn you off. Okay, I guess we can call this the installation of an STX38 deck. I've got the height set as low as it'll go. I've got a 2x4 under this corner, a 2x4 under this corner, right? I've got the front supporting rods just loose. There's all kinds of slack in that, right? We'll tighten those up at the very end. And now I've got one pin on this side of the, I don't know if I can do this or not, guys. Got one pin in, where is that? Just let me get halfway down here. Right there, that brass pin. If I can put my finger on it, right there. Goes in from this side, and I'm just going to go do the other one, and then we'll put all of the clevis clips on. I'm only grunting and groaning because I'm not having the best day physically, right? Okay, let's just run to the other side. We aren't running anywhere. Okay, so now I've got one more of those little devils to stick on there. And that's always the hard one, right? It's the last one of the bunch. Okay, I don't know if I can film this one because she's right under there. Okay, the light's on the other side too. Let's just get another light. That's pretty close. You might even be able to see that. Right there, yeah, maybe you can. We're getting close. I might use a drift pin do-hummer thingamajiggy. Or can I go up? Oh, I can go up a little bit more. I can go up a little bit more. Okay. Maybe I can go up at the front. Close, baby. Yeah, there we go. I think we're there. Yep, that's it. She's in. Now the belt. And that should be a piece of cake with a ratchet, just like we took it off. You guys might remember that. Sorry for the shakies, guys. I'm laying on the ground. All right, we're there. I think I'm set at, I don't know, I think it's at 2 inches right now. So if we go under here, the frame is at 2 inches, right there. And this back frame's not. Oh, it is too. It's at 2 inches. Isn't that nice? Okay, so now all we have to do is raise the front up on those little boltaroos right there. To the front is approximately just less than 2 inches. I've read where they... Okay, so all I did was I got everything's hooked up, right? I set the height at 2 inches, what I think is 2 inches. And by adjusting that nut right there on the front, on that rod, that rod right there, that horizontal one that comes out to this end, and you can I'll just give you an example. You can raise or lower the deck, up or down. And I got it so that it's about 1/8 of an inch less than the back. But on mine, remember I was pounding on this pretty regular, right? So it's just under 2 inches there. And I'll just check the other side without you guys coming with me. And it's just under 2 inches there. And the rod, and that rod is just tight, not ridiculous. And this rod, they're about the same. So I think we're good. Now I'm just gonna set you up and sit on the tractor and flex the up-down bar. See if we're in any shape or form. Yeah, I think so. Let's go all the way up. He says in the rough stuff, he cuts about there. And that is 2 3/4 there. I'm going to the deck, not the blades. And about 2 3/4, and then it should just be a little less than that there. Kind of dark. Just over 2.5. I think that's it. Now I'm going to check my John Deere book to make sure that it's supposed to be a little bit lower at the front. I think that's what it is, because I don't do tractors every day. You got to check. If you don't know, you have to check. There you go. The front blade tips must be 1/8 of an inch or 1/4 of an inch lower than the rear. That's pretty simple. So everything is pretty much done. He wanted a hook on here so that he could keep this open in heavy grass. And oil's changed, and it takes about 1.8 liters, guys. It all depends on the size of the oil filter, etc. So she's ready to go, man. Went out and cut a little grass in the neighborhood, just along the back there. And it seems to cut great. And I'll give him a call today. Sometimes it's just not easy, right? All right, my friend Alfred is coming tomorrow to pick this up. And we discussed a couple of things. He pointed out to me that connector has had the bun. You see that? It's been. He takes the battery out every time he leaves the acreage, which is really smart. So we're going to replace that. And he also takes this tire off, and so nobody can roll it away. That's pretty good, eh? I mean, not everyone's honest, right? Which is really sad. I never even stole a bubble gum from a store when I was a kid. So one old YouTuber who I've never met just said, turn the camera on. You just don't know what you're going to end up working on. So I don't like the way this cable has been skinned. It's not perpendicular. It just looks like it was hacked off with an electrician's knife. So I'm going to clean that up. We have a little bit of length. So first I'm going to square this up. Ooh, I don't want to drop the okay. And then we're going to flush this out to the end so that the insulation comes to the base with no shiner. You'll get that in a minute. I might have to trim it one more time. Okay, I'm going to shorten that up again, guys. I'm not happy with this bulbous mess on the end here. We have a little bit of length. It's one thing we do have. And I don't like doing compression connections on this fine cable, fine strand cable. Compression connections work a little bit better on the coarse strand. Like there might be 8 conductors in here instead of 200. I hope you're getting a little bit of this. Come on, baby. And I'm just, you know what it is, my glasses aren't lining up with the field of view. Now let's set this connector for blue. Okay, let's crimp it. Okay, we can have a look at that crimp. Doesn't that look nice? All right, I got a little 1/4 inch carriage bolt, and there we go. That's perfect. Let's get a close-up shot of that. That certainly looks better than it did before.